2021 SBLive Washington Virtual Media Day previewing, and for some schools, catching them in the middle of their season due to a COVID condensed season here in the state of Washington. This episode, myself, Dan Dickau, alongside Todd Millis, we're with Arlington girls basketball coach Joe Marsh and standout player Hailey Hiatt. First off, Coach, thanks for joining. How excited are you to be in the midst of basketball season?
Well, it's really hard to explain how excited I was to get this thing started. And when we heard that we could get to play some games here, it's been fantastic. We had a little meeting before practice on Monday, and I got a little emotional. It kind of caught up with me, surprisingly. But yeah, it's just been fantastic to get back in the gym with these kids.
Hailey, as a young student athlete, never having gone through anything like you've gone through over the last 15 months, how have you and your teammates stayed ready, stayed positive, stayed true to kind of maybe the message that Coach has been delivering to you guys?
I mean, obviously our goals have, changed a little bit. We wanted to be first in state this year and do all that good stuff. But this year, it's just finding the positives and what we can. I mean, we get to play and trying to just go undefeated this season and make the best out of what we got.
Joe, for people who haven't watched you, it's quite an adventure. Up tempo, get after it, shoot a lot of threes. How did you develop that philosophy for this particular program?
Well, first of all, I like the game played that way, so I will say that. It kind of evolved out of necessity, really. This will be my 10th season. My first 2 seasons, we were huge. I had multiple 6-footers. I mean, big kids, and we played a different game. We pretty much played a half-court matchup zone. Year 2, we rode that all the way to a state championship game. And then, the year after that, I still had a big left. And then I looked around and I had a bunch of guards. Everybody was 5'8" or below for the most part. I mean, we had a couple kids that are longer than that. And we had to figure out a way to play that would help us. And we had a bunch of speed and quickness, and we decided to just use that and to our advantage. And, we started with our run and jump and pressing, and we had a lot of success with it. And, it's just a great way to play. It's fun for kids to play. We get to play a lot more kids. We've developed depth. So that's really how it came about. And we've just continued it. And we continue to have 5'8" and under everywhere we go. So for the most part.
Hailey, as a shooter, how much do you enjoy the freedom of being able to put 6, 8, 10 3-pointers up and your coach not look at you funny?
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot different from other teams we all play with, basically. But it makes the game so much more like of a reward, like a risk reward type thing, because we get a steal, there's a wide open layup, shoot the three. Three's worth more than 2, like Marsh always say. So,
Coach, with no season during a typical basketball season in the winter, many coaches have expressed that they spend a lot of time on Zoom calls or watching clinics online or just picking a team or two at either WNBA or the NBA or the college level to really focus in on. Did you take that same approach or did you maybe pick up a hobby in the downtime?
Well, I quickly realized that I have no hobbies. And so that was an eye opener for me. So no, I did the same thing. I spent hours and hours in those coaching clinics. That was a great resource. I had to stop watching our own film because I had just been saturated with it. At some point I realized that you're always trying to prepare for a season and be ready. But it became, at some point I had to step away a little bit and just kind of take a break because you can only get so much. So I did all that stuff. I really watched the women's NCAA tournament this year, paid really close attention to as many games as I possibly could, just to kind of, see what's going on out there. And I love watching basketball anyway. So, I did all those things, and we did Zooms as a team and trying to stay connected as much as we could, things like that.
Hailey, it sounds like Coach has given you and your teammates a lot of freedom to shoot, but say you take a really bad 3 or you have a bad turnover and you look over to the sideline, what expression would he make that you're in trouble and you're probably coming out at the next dead ball?
Yeah, he'll put his head down and start walking to the end of the bench. And he has his fist. You can just tell by his body language. But as long as you get back on defense, you're pretty good.
Joe, how would you characterize the rapid improvement of your sophomore Genevieve, who is a luxury to have on the front court, but can go out and shoot threes and fits very well in with the style of this program?
Yeah. Well, Jen just works. I mean, I don't think there's too many kids that put in as much time and effort into the game as she does, and that always is going to pay off. I think, every kid when they come into high school as a freshman, she had a lot of expectations for her, but she was embraced by this team, and we just kind of brought her in. And we didn't need her to be a superstar last year. We had a really good team, so she kind of fit in, which was really nice. But her improvement over the course of that season and then until now has been really, really impressive. So she just works really hard on her game. And, we're really excited to get her out there and show everybody what she's all about, along with the rest of these kids who have been working on their games as well.
This team can shoot 20, 30 3-pointers, but if you had to line up your top 7 or 8 players in a horse shooting contest, who's your best shooter?
Hailey Hiatt. And I'm not just saying that because she's sitting here. I would go through my list. Sometimes we're coaches, right? I was making my all-time list for my team the other day and all this stuff. I've had some really, really good shooters in this program. And, Haley's just one of the best shooters. And Jenna's a great shooter. We got some other shooters on this team. I've had some in the past. I just feel like when Hailey lets it go, it's going in. I just have a lot of confidence in her shot. She's put in her time as well. She put in work on her shot, and you see it. It's clean. She's got a great release. She can get it off. She really has the ability to get shots off when you don't think she can. She's just not a catch and shoot kid. She's done it with defense hanging on her. In Tacoma last year, when it was time to run a play at the end of the game, I was putting the ball in her hands. So I have a lot of confidence in her, and she's rewarded that confidence with, she made a huge shot to win the game in the quarterfinal and hit a bunch of threes against Eastside Catholic in that third place game she played great in the state tournament. So the other thing is Haley's not afraid of the spotlight. She's not afraid of those moments. She wants the ball. And that's a luxury, really, to have a kid who's like, give me the ball, Marsh, I'll take care of this. And, at the high school level, that's not easy to come by. So, yeah, I can say pretty straightforward that Hailey Hiatt is the best shooter I've had. And I'll probably get some arguments from some other players, but I'm going to go with it.
Hailey, I love hearing when there's a player that has a lot of confidence in their game. It sounds like you have that. Where does that come from? And then if there's a certain player maybe that you pattern your game after or you like to study, who would it be?
All of it just comes from, confidence and putting time in and all that type of stuff, knowing and trusting yourself. And obviously the people on your team that you're surrounded with, they all have confidence in you. And then if I had to pick somebody, it'd probably be Stephen Curry, just because he's a great shooter.
Yeah, you guys get to start here relatively soon, but not being able. You've made a living at the Tacoma Dome. How hard of an adjustment has that been? That's not going to be on the map or not going to be, an end goal or carrot.
It's been real. I'll just speak for myself. It's been really difficult. I'm not going to lie. Our goal was to win a state championship this year. That was flat out. That was it. And we were prepared and ready to. And obviously that takes a lot of things to be able to do that. You got to be lucky. You got to stay healthy, all those things. We know that, but that was our goal. And so once that gets taken away, you really have to change your mindset. And it's been hard. It's been hard for me as a coach to try. What do I tell these kids? I have 6 seniors, who've been in this program for a long time, and I really want them to have a great experience at the end. So yeah, it's been difficult. We just said, when we started on Monday, I just said, listen, we just got to find that same mindset and go win the games and just do it. That we don't get the reward at the end, but we still want to go and try to have that same mindset and do what we can do in this shortened season. And I want for them to have something resembling or feeling like, we're not going to get the Tacoma Dome experience. You can't really repeat that in any way, but we're just going to do the best we can with what we got. I think that's about all you can do at this point, but it's been tough.
Well, Coach Hailey, we appreciate the time. Todd Millis has shared a lot of positive thoughts about your program. So we're glad that you guys had a chance to join alongside the other boys and girls programs across the state. So for the 2021 SBLive Washington Media Day, myself, Dan Dickau, Todd Millis, and the rest of our crew, we thank you for joining. Stay healthy, play well, and hopefully next year you will be at the Tacoma Dome.
Thanks, guys. And again, I want to say I really appreciate you guys' coverage of high school sports. As a coach, I really, really appreciate what you guys are doing. So thank you.